Um, let's talk about 991 because we hear about that. That's actually combustion related, and does that has to do with the AFR rod?
It does. So the air-fuel ratio is being measured by that rod. If it sees combustion values that it doesn't like, it will raise or lower the fan speed to try to correct that. Now, if it sees values that are just uncorrectable, it's so far out of range, it will immediately go into this combustion fault. Otherwise, it will try in increments to increase or decrease the fan speed. It will try so many times, and it will give you a warning, which is a 101.
Okay.
But that warning, you still have hot water.
Yeah, so you won't never look. You'd
So
never look at it.
You never. That'll be in your fault history.
Yeah.
But when you're going to get the call, or when the problem is going to occur, is when it gets to 991, because that's actually a hard lockout. So the heater won't provide any more hot water at that time.
It has to be reset. Is that correct?
Yeah, this one has to be reset. So even unplugging it and plugging it back in, the control board is going to remember that it had this error code, and it's not going to operate until somebody comes in and physically resets it.
Okay. And that you're talking about that it has to do with the air and the fuel. So in most of the time it has to do with, 99% of the time or 80% of the time it's the fuel. So we're going to have to do something again with the fuel.
I would say that this happens in really two occasions. So it's just been installed, a brand new water heater installation, and we're getting this code. So maybe even within a couple of weeks, maybe it's taken some time. If that's the case, there's something with the installation that's not quite right. Maybe it's an undersized or restricted fuel supply.
You could have been right on the edge. Yep.
Very well. Might be the venting. Now, if you follow the instructions, you're probably pretty good. But just review that vent length, vent diameter with the charts in the manual. But if they didn't set those dip switches to the venting, the fan doesn't know where to start as far as a base reference, so that could cause it. The other problem that we see is recirculation of flue gas.
Right.
So if they take this out and maybe the exhaust is coming out and the intake is over top of it, and exhaust gases are coming
that
up,
back in there.
so we're getting oxygen lean air. So we've already burned oxygen once, now we're trying to burn it again, and it's just not there.
Yeah.
That can also cause that. So on a new installation, it's something with the installation. So double check your gas, double check your venting, double check your dip switches, and look for the termination to make sure that there's no recirculation of flue gas.
All right, so what about if it's been in for a while and you're experiencing that?
Okay, so 6 months or greater, and really a wider range, maybe not quite that, maybe 4 months, but you've not had any prior problems. First thing is it summertime to wintertime?
Yeah, it could be, yeah.
Because if that's the case,
you're just pulling that gas somewhere else.
Right, you're fighting with another appliance, and it's probably gas. Other than that, probably not an installation, because we've had no problems up to this point. But go ahead and review and ask if anything has changed. So did they build a privacy wall maybe close to where the vent terminations are? Or did they add another appliance? Some things like that.
Something probably did change.
Yeah, something very likely did change. If nothing's changed, and we're not fighting another appliance for gas, we still have gas. And again, when we're looking for that, we're looking for that pressure drop. So when the heater's not running as our static pressure, to with everything that uses gas in the home running, we don't want to see more than 1 inch to 1.5 inches of difference. If we do see more than that, that means that we're using gas faster than we can pump it in there.
Okay.
But if all of that stuff checks out, strong winds can cause this.
Okay.
So again, the fan knows that it's running.
Now that would be on the exhaust, pushing on the exhaust, or is it the intake?
Could be either one.
Both of them.
Right?
Okay.
The fan knows that it's running because we're measuring the RPMs. But if wind is blowing into the exhaust, it's creating a back pressure the fan has to overcome. If wind is blowing into the intake, it's actually moving more air.
Pushing more, yeah, okay.
So in either way, the fan, it just knows that it doesn't see the right combustion values, it doesn't know what pressures it's working against. So strong winds, maybe with a thunderstorm or something like that that's happened, can cause this to go into that error as well.
Okay, so on a 991, if you need help, go ahead and give us a call at the at customer support. We'll help you out. But really, you broke it down into 2 different types of scenarios. You'll either have the new installation, or you're going to have one that's been in there for a while. Just follow your steps. Really, it comes down to gas and having the right size gas line for the job, especially on a new installation. And just go through your owner's manual, make sure that you've got the right size gas line. Make sure you bled all the air out of the gas line, especially if you're getting not firing. But 991, It'll tell you 101 at first, but when you get the 991, that means it actually locked out. Now, when you have to unlock it, right?
You do have to unlock it. And I wanted to add one more thing.
Okay.
You're talking about the gas, so check the venting, check the gas. Make sure that they did the dip
Dip
switches,
switches,
because that happens so often.
So just use what's in the inside cover.
Right.
Go through it because it's unique to that heater. Go through it, make sure that all the dip switch settings are right for this actual unit. So, but if you have to unlock it, you have to do that on the control, right?
Yeah, we have to do that on the control. I'm going to mount it up here because there's something we have to do on this control first. Okay, so if we push the on-off button, we're going to wake the control up because it went to sleep. We're going to push it again and make sure the orange standby light is off.
Gone.
So that has to happen first before we can reset this. Now on the control board itself, there's 4 buttons here across the bottom. So these last 2 buttons on the side on the 540, we're going to press and hold those together for 5 seconds.
Okay.
And give it a long 5-second count. So if you're doing Mississippi, take your time with Mississippi.
Do real Mississippi country.
After 5 seconds, release those buttons, turn the power to the water heater off, give us about 5 seconds to drain everything back down, and turn it back on.
All the power back now.
Right.
Yeah.
So it'll go back through its startup. We'll hear the noise and the clunk clunks, and then the heater should be back in normal operation. If the code didn't clear, try it again. Maybe we didn't hit the buttons right at the same time.
Okay.
If we still can't get it to clear, then please, definitely give our technical support.
Yeah, we want to
team a
know
call.
about that. We want you to call us, and we'll kind of walk you through all of that as easy as we can.